On the night of August 12, 2015, a series of massive explosions tore through an industrial storage district at the port of Tianjin in northeastern China. The blasts originated from a hazardous materials warehouse located in the Binhai New area, a major economic and logistics zone serving one of the busiest ports in the world. What began as a fire reported shortly before midnight escalated within minutes into an industrial catastrophe that destroyed warehouses, flattened nearby factory facilities, damaged residential neighborhoods, and killed more than 100 people. The port of Tianjin is a critical node in China's global trade network. It handles petrochemicals, industrial raw materials, automobiles, and containerized cargo for Beijing, Hebei Province, and northern China. The area affected by the explosion was a bonded logistics zone used for storing imported and export-bound goods, including large quantities of hazardous chemicals. Warehouses in the zone were operated by Ruhai International Logistics, a private company licensed to handle dangerous materials. At approximately 10:50 p.m. local time, emergency services received reports of a fire at one of the warehouses. Firefighters from the Tianjin Public Security Fire Corps were dispatched to the scene. Initial information provided to responders did not fully describe the type or quantity of hazardous chemicals stored inside the facility. As a result, firefighters approached the blaze using standard procedures for an industrial fire, unaware of the extreme risks involved. Inside the warehouse were large amounts of ammonium nitrate, sodium cyanide, potassium nitrate, calcium carbide, and other flammable and toxic substances. Ammonium nitrate, in particular, is known for its explosive potential under certain conditions, especially when heated in confined spaces or contaminated with combustible materials. At 11:34 p.m., the first major explosion occurred. Seconds later, a second, far more powerful blast followed. Seismic monitoring stations recorded the second explosion as equivalent to several hundred tons of TNT. Fireballs rose hundreds of meters into the air. Shock waves shattered windows kilometers away, overturned vehicles, and collapsed steel-framed structures throughout the industrial zone. The force of the explosions destroyed large sections of the warehouse complex and flattened surrounding factory buildings. Shipping containers were hurled across roads. Craters several meters deep were blasted into the ground. Vehicles in the vicinity were incinerated or crushed. Firefighters positioned close to the warehouse were caught in the blast. Many were killed instantly. Residential complexes located less than 1 kilometer away suffered extensive damage. High-rise apartment buildings lost windows, doors, and exterior walls. Some structures were declared unsafe due to structural damage. Thousands of residents were injured by flying glass and debris. Many fled their homes in the middle of the night amid fires, smoke, and confusion. In the immediate aftermath, emergency response became a large-scale operation involving military units, medical teams, and disaster specialists. Roads into the area were sealed. Hospitals activated mass casualty protocols. Injured victims were treated for burns, blast injuries, fractures, and chemical exposure. Firefighting operations continued for days as responders worked to extinguish remaining fires and cool hazardous materials that had not yet detonated. Official casualty figures released by Chinese authorities reported 173 deaths, including 104 firefighters and police officers. More than 700 people were injured, dozens of them critically. Thousands of homes were damaged, and tens of thousands of residents were temporarily displaced. The economic cost of the disaster ran into billions of dollars, including destruction of industrial facilities, port infrastructure, vehicles, and residential property.
Environmental concerns quickly emerged. Sodium cyanide containers were scattered across the blast zone and surrounding areas. Cyanide is highly toxic, especially when dissolved in water. Authorities established exclusion zones and conducted extensive cleanup operations to locate and neutralize chemical hazards. Air and water quality monitoring was carried out amid public concern about contamination of soil and groundwater. The Chinese government launched a formal investigation into the cause of the explosions. Preliminary findings confirmed that the warehouse stored quantities of hazardous chemicals far exceeding permitted limits, and that safety distances between chemical storage facilities and residential areas were grossly inadequate. Investigators found that Ruhai International Logistics had obtained its hazardous materials license under questionable circumstances and had violated multiple safety regulations. Further investigation revealed systemic failures in regulatory oversight. Local authorities had approved the warehouse's location despite clear violations of national safety standards requiring minimum distances between hazardous chemical storage and populated areas. Inspections had been inadequate, and enforcement of existing laws was inconsistent. In the months following the disaster, criminal charges were filed against company executives and local officials. Ruhai International Logistics chairman and several senior managers were arrested. Government officials responsible for port safety, land use approvals, and regulatory enforcement were also investigated and punished for dereliction of duty, abuse of power, or corruption. The Tianjin explosions prompted nationwide safety inspections across China. Authorities ordered reviews of hazardous material storage facilities, particularly those near residential zones. New regulations were introduced to strengthen chemical safety management, improve transparency, and enforce stricter zoning rules. Firefighting protocols were revised to improve information sharing about hazardous materials during emergency response. Internationally, the disaster drew comparisons to other ammonium nitrate explosions, highlighting the global risks associated with improper chemical storage. Safety experts emphasized that while ammonium nitrate is widely used in agriculture and industry, it requires careful handling, strict temperature control, and separation from incompatible substances. For residents of Tianjin's Binhai-Nu area, the impact was lasting. Many families lost loved ones. Homes required months of repair. Psychological trauma persisted long after physical rebuilding began. Memorials were erected to honor firefighters and victims who died responding to the initial fire without knowledge of the danger they faced. The industrial district where the explosion occurred was rebuilt under new safety guidelines. Warehousing practices were restructured and hazardous materials handling subjected to tighter oversight. The port of Tianjin resumed full operations, but the disaster remained a defining moment in the city's modern history. The Tianjin explosions of August 12, 2015 were not the result of natural forces or external attack. They were caused by accumulated regulatory failures, improper chemical storage, and lack of transparency about industrial risks. The disaster demonstrated how industrial zones, when poorly regulated, can become lethal to workers, emergency responders, and surrounding communities. Today, the Tianjin industrial blast is one of the most extensively documented industrial accidents of the 21st century. It is studied in engineering, emergency management, and public policy as a case where preventable safety violations led to catastrophic loss of life and infrastructure. The Flattened factory district stands as a factual reminder of the consequences of ignoring chemical safety standards in high-density industrial environments.